Ms. Josephine Day Solong, Ms. April Marie San Luca, and Ms. Kelly Jean Colors. Our discussion for today is more focused on innovation and entrepreneurship principles and strategies. Our first presenter is Ms. Josephine Day Solong. Let's watch this.
Entrepreneurial management is the practice of taking entrepreneurial knowledge and utilizing it for increasing the effectiveness of new business venturing as well as small and medium-sized businesses. The heart of entrepreneurial management is continually juggling these vital management issues. Issue number 1, the existing businesses which need to change and will have to learn to survive and to prosper. Number 2, the public service institution with an opportunity and a responsibility to be entrepreneurial and to innovate. And 3, the new venture, which will continue to be a main vehicle for innovation. Most of entrepreneurial businesses are the larger middle-sized ones. Entrepreneurial policies must be observed, such as number 1, innovation must be made attractive and beneficial to managers. 2, importance of the need for innovation and dimensions of its time frame must be both defined and spelled out. And 3, there needs to be an innovation plan which includes the business and trade. Entrepreneurship in the existing business also requires managerial practices, like number 1, must focus managerial vision on opportunity, like the monthly performance report, which has to include opportunities as well as problems. Number 2, generate entrepreneurial spirit throughout its entire management group. And number 3, top management should sit down with junior people from research, engineering, manufacturing, and marketing to listen. There should also be measuring of innovative performance, which requires number 1, innovative project feedback from results to expectation. Number 2, developing systematic review of innovative efforts together. And number 3, judging the company's total innovative performance against the company's innovative objectives, against its performance and standing in the market, and against its performance as a business. Remember the don'ts. Number 1, do not mix the managerial units and entrepreneurial ones. 2, innovative efforts that take the existing business out of its own field are rarely successful. And lastly, number 3, it is hard and rarely successful to buy in to entrepreneurial culture and spirit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Josephine. And may we hear from Ms. April Marie? Let's watch this.
Public service institutions such as government agencies, schools, churches, professionals, hospitals, and the like need to be entrepreneurial and innovative as much as any other business does. Well, in fact, they need it more. Due to the rapid changes in our society and technology, it will give them greater opportunity as well as greater threat. This type of business is really hard to innovate since it's more personal than any other type of business. Therefore, you have to acquire more skills and knowledge for you to be able to cater all the needs of your customers. Starting a new business can be as everyone. You may have a good idea, but the question is, where do you start? The first thing to do is to start your initial planning. You have to assess your idea. If your product or service is unique or innovative, then you have a greater probability that you will succeed. But even if it is unique, you have to know if you have a market for that product or services. Then you have to assess yourself if you really have that passion to that product or to that idea, so that your business will run for a long time. So when you think a new venture, you will have to start to plan. Plan that will address your overall business strategy, especially your financial needs, marketing plan, and also your target customers.
Thank you, Ma'am April. And this time, let us hear from Ma'am Kenjen.
There are four specifically entrepreneurial strategies: being fastest with the mostest, hitting them where they aim, finding and occupying a specialized economical niche, and changing the economic characteristics of a product, market, or an industry. So today, we will focus on the first, fastest with the mostest. It aims at leadership, if not at dominance of a new market or a new industry. The approach that many people consider is the entrepreneurial strategy for excellence. And of all the entrepreneurial strategies, it is the greatest combo and is unforgiving, making no allowances for mistakes and permitting no second chances. So as the name suggests, being fastest is the mostest is the strategy mainly defined by trying to become the unchallenged leader in the economic field. As to the scopes and limitations of the strategy, it requires an ambitious game, otherwise it is bound to fail. Innovation must be based on careful and deliberate attempt to exploit one of the major opportunities for innovation to establish something big and brand new in the event of success, and something that would go far beyond a single product or beyond a single major platform. Next is hitting them where they need. This is the strategy of creative imitation. Like being fastest with the mostest, creative imitation is a strategy aimed at market or industry leadership, if not a market or industry dominance, but it is much less risky. Creative imitation is not innovation in the sense in which the term is most commonly understood. Creative imitation starts out with the market rather than with products, and with customers rather than with producers. It is both market focused and market focused. Strategy is somehow a consequence of the risk that being fastest with the mostest strategy we just considered carries. In essential, it means that one does not innovate a new product from scratch, but instead trying to exploit the potential opportunities of an innovation someone else has made, but was not able to profit from it so far. Being successful in creative imitation means that one understands better what the innovation represents than the people who actually made it. The strategy aims at market leadership too, which is much less risky than the first strategy.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ken. And now, in addition to what you have heard, let me discuss further on our topic.
Ecological niche. The ecological niche strategy aims at obtaining the monopoly in a small specific area. When it comes to ecological niches, the main strategies that a company can adopt are three. The first option might be that of creating a product that becomes essential to a process and it can't therefore be skipped on the toolkit possession. The toolkit possession has severe limitations and serious risk. It is basically a static possession. Once the ecological niche has been occupied, there is unlikely to be much growth. There is nothing the company that occupies the toolkit possession can do to increase its business or to control it. No matter how good its product or how cheap, the demand is independent upon the demand of the process or product to which the toolkit products furnishes an ingredient. Once the toolkit strategy has attained its objective, the company is mature. It can only grow as fast as its end users grow, but it can go down fast. It can become obsolete almost overnight if someone finds different ways of satisfying the same end user. And the toolkit strategist must never exploit his monopoly. The second strategy is called a specialty skill. Here, the niche as an innovator occupies is just as unique as the toolkit strategy, but it tends to be somewhat larger. For example, everyone can name the major US automobile manufacturers, but how many people know the companies that make the brake pads or electrical circuits or headlamps that go into these cars? Those largely unknown companies occupy a specialty skill position in an ecological niche. The developing high skill at a very early time in a new industry or market captures this position. Once the market begins to grow, the innovator has a significant head start over potential competitors and has already become the standard industry supplier. Finally, the last ecological niche strategy is the specialty market, which is similar to specialty skill but, whilst the latter is about product or service knowledge. The former involves the knowledge of a whole market or industry. For the rest, advantages and limitations just the same. The final niche strategy is to establish a specialty market niche big enough to be profitable but small enough not to make it worthwhile for potential competitors to invade it. All the strategies to be discussed in this chapter, which is the changing values and characteristics, have one thing in common. They create a customer, and that is ultimate purpose of a business, indeed of economic activity, but they do so in four different ways: by creating utility, by pricing, by adaptation to the customer's social and economic reality, and by delivering what represents true value to the customer.
Thank you guys for watching this Global Entrep Show.